The Jim and Terry Show without my good friend Jim in the hot seat. No one to debate with, no one to bounce ideas off of. It's just the left side of my brain talking to my right side. And whether that is the literal left and right of my brain's processing, or whether it's the left political ideology discussing with the right political ideology, whatever it is, it's just me in the hot seat. If you want to wait until Jim comes back, it will be a couple of weeks. You can tune in again then. Until then, discussing things political, which is what I really like to do. Why people think what they think, believe what they believe, is some of the core stuff that intrigues me about humanity. It's all kinds of things. So while Jim is away, the mice are going to play, and that's going off in all kinds of directions that I enjoy thinking about, enjoy pondering, enjoy trying to go down a few rabbit holes that concern me. And this one, the Gateway Pundit. If you haven't heard, they are declaring bankruptcy. The Gateway Pundit. Well, what is it? Go to Wikipedia just to get a grounding in what it is. It's a far-right fake news website. Far-right fake news is all you have to say, but some people believe it to be the gospel. What kind of people would believe this kind of tripe to be the gospel? Well, probably the same kind of people who, dare I say it, believe that Trump is Orange Jesus. That kind of thinking. And I guess once you go down the magical thinking pathway or rabbit hole, all kinds of things are possible. Lurking in the shadowy recesses of conspiracy theories, all kinds of things. Pizzagate, Alex Jones, who knows what else? How about Fox News being sued by, get this, Hunter Biden? Fox News is still being sued. We haven't seen the resolution of the Smartmatic one yet. They've already paid out $786 or $7 million for the first round of lawsuits against them for spreading fake news. So Fox is being sued into the ground, I hope. And you also heard that Rupert Murdoch has divested himself of his interest in the Fox, dare I say news? No, I'm not going to say news. I'm not going to grace Fox with news. The Fox Entertainment Channel, because it is just opinion, unsubstantiated, uncorroborated, just a bunch of talking heads spewing what they normally do. And whether it's from their opening morning shows to their evening analysis, it is opinion very loosely tethered, if tethered at all, to anything that is factual. But who's to tell all this to the poor people who tune into Fox and then affiliated networks? Who is to inform these people? Well, maybe the courts have a role in informing people. Or, like in the case of Trump himself, will it be, they're persecuting me? No, they're not persecuting you. They are prosecuting. Prosecuting is a legal term. We're taking it to the courts. Or just to recall, Trump lost 64 of his legal challenges to the 2020 elections. But don't tell people on Fox that he lost. Most Fox viewers get a load of that. Statistic is something like 60 to 70% still believe Trump is still president. What? Yes. All right, so take me back to the Gateway Pundit. One of those organizations such as Alex Jones, who specializes in, gains expertise in spreading fake news stories, undermining truth and reality for its viewers. Why am I so concerned? Well, it got up close and personal with a sibling of mine who cited information from the Gateway Pundit, thinking that it was the equivalent of a legitimate news agency or news source with vetted reporters with high-quality sourced material. Instead, it's really a QAnon conspiracy mill. I guess that's what you would say. And why am I linking that? Well, this morning, conspiracy mill, QAnon, has been the topic of Truth Social. That's Trump's media network. And tanking in the stock still, I think. Why is Trump doing this? Well, there's viewers who consume this stuff. Consume conspiracies. Q. I thought Q was over and done. Q who predicted the outcomes of elections. Q who said they're going to all be rounded up on barges outside of Guantanamo Bay. Q as in Ginny Thomas, wife of Supreme Court Thomas, who's still adjudicating cases that he should have nothing to do with because he is involved. His wife is involved. He is taking money from, what, Republican donors for trips, boat cruises, vacations, fishing expeditions, all from far-right conservative donors to the Republican Party. Should not be so, but it is. And where it is, we should call it out for what it is. He should recuse himself. But let's get back to QAnon and what's going on. Well, Trump is surfacing now on Truth Social with a whole bunch, and that's just yesterday, today. On his day off when he's not in New York, appearing at his trial, criminal trial this time, not a civil trial. There are consequences for this felony fraud, and part of it is to assume innocence until proven guilty, but that he used his campaign to influence the outcome of the election of 2016. Yes, we're still adjudicating 2016. Did Hillary Clinton gracefully withdraw? Yes, she gave Donald Trump the victory and let him have control. But the more time goes by, the more details surface, such as the corrupt FBI district office agent who was in charge of all things Russia, now being charged with taking money, taking bribes from Russians. That was going back to 2016. Was Mueller right? I think so. The Mueller report. You know that report that Bill Barr summarized in a few paragraphs and said that Trump was basically exonerated. Nothing to see here, folks, which is not what Mueller said. And the report lives on. The Russia collusion, the Russia hoax lives on. The allegations seem to be more credible now than they were in 2016. Russia, responsible for propping up the most incapable, the most, vile human being to occupy the office of the presidency of the United States. So what has all this got to do with Gateway Pundit, which is where I started? Well, news spreads, conspiracy threads. It is like a virus. Virus? Well, don't get me started on that. I've been seeing a whole bunch of COVID fake news and information being spread around the same sites. Still continuing the notion of anti-vax, antivirus, anti-woke, left, liberal stuff. Well, eventually the chickens come home to roost, they say, and Gateway Pundit is joining the bankruptcy place where Alex Jones' kingdom fell as well. Alex Jones is still doing stuff. Is he coming to Toronto with Don Jr. and the band of far-right American conservatives hosting some kind of event? Will Pierre Poilievre be there? Will other Canadians be there? Well, Jim has some family who mentioned the name of Viva Frei, and this guy is a former lawyer. He's more of a conspiracy theorist, nut job as well. He will be at this far-right conference or convention in Toronto. It's a gathering, a rogues gallery, a gallery of the knaves, the conspiracy types, and that will be in Toronto. I will try not to go there, but to report on it when it happens. In the meantime, Gateway Pundit going down through Chapter 11, filing for protection. Why? Because they're being sued. Who by? How about Shay Moss? Do you ever recall the name Moss? She is suing them. The 2 Georgia election workers that Rudy Giuliani threw under the bus and made their lives a public hell because of his false reporting that they were corruptly misplacing or recounting ballots in the state of Georgia. So there is stuff that goes around. I mean, if you sow this conspiracy stuff, if you spread fake news, if you have no evidence, but you say things, you can be sued. And this is what's happening to the Gateway Pundit, and they say they're cheeking bankruptcy protection, Chapter 11 protection, because what they said back in 2020, I think it was, for that election, is now being coming home to roost in the legal processes. So all things are not the same in media. You need to be able to check and vet your sources, as I tried to caution my own family that this is not a reliable source. And I refer to the title of a book by Brian Stelter, who used to work on CNN. The program he ran was called Reliable Sources. And although I know people who poo-pooed, naysayed, I happen to think, that his coverage was fairly reasonable, that it was a rational expose of the left, the right, who says what, why they say it, what evidence is there. Reliable Sources by Brian Stelter. Although he's no longer at CNN, I still follow him on Twitter just to see what he's up to and what he is tweeting about or retweeting, posting, reposting. And I am curious to see what his take will be on the fall of the mighty Gateway Pundit. Gateway Pundit began just as a single operation. One fella, the Hoft. Is it the Hofts? I think that's the name. Heft, H-E-F-T? Oh, we can look it up. And anyway, whoever they are no longer. It grew into a multinational, quite a big operation. But they were demonetized because they were found wanting on the scale of truth and justice, spreading COVID misinformation, acne vaccine theories, and faking the election in 2020. Eventually, the chickens come home to roost, and in this case, they have dollar signs on the eggs. Going down, Chapter 11, Gateway Pundit. Jim and Terry Show, signing off. Bye-bye.